Give it all you got, take your very best shot, and may the best team win. The time is now, the name of the game is action. They're on the floor and they're ready to score, so let the game begin. And let's see how the ball's gonna bounce today. Welcome to NBA. Come on and join the rest of the crowd. There's another classic about to come your way. You'll see the best in basketball.
NBA.
Back live at Chicago Stadium. We're just about set to go. The Chicago Bulls, to a big ovation, have their starting five introduced. Kansas City, Omaha, you see how they match up. We've just been told that the ownership of the Chicago Bulls has permitted the blackout here in Chicago to be lifted, so the game is being seen in Chicago. There are the officials, one of the veteran ones, Richie Powers, and working with him, Bob Rakel. The alternate is Mark Schloffman.
Every game's a road game, and that's why these guys do such a great job.
A lot of quickness in that matchup. Boerwinkle inside it. Doesn't get the shot, but there's a foul call on Larry McNeil.
Tom Boerwinkle, one of the really fine passing centers in basketball, and they set a screen on that particular play, and Walker rolls inside of the screen, and Kansas City does not switch on that play very well.
Walker working off a pick from Boerwinkle. He's a building out there, 6'11", 270 pounds. Chet Walker, as the shot clock is almost out, hunts it through, and there's a causing lead.
Done so many times in the course of a ball game, you'll see.
And Lear goes to Walker, and Chet Walker again puts it up over Scott Wedman. Love with the offensive rebound, back up and good. And Chicago jumps up to a 5-0 lead. Van Leer's got his hands all over him. They're not called a foul. Now they call it as the shot was up. It would have been good. Not then. So far, the Kings have been shut out. They're down 5-0. So it's a 5-1 game. Kansas City trailing the Chicago Bulls. Winkle, weak side pass to Jerry Sloan, and Sloan lays it in. Jerry Sloan goes down hard. Here is Nate Archibald getting inside, putting it up, doesn't get it. Boerwinkle clears the door. They run with Wedman on the left flank, and Walker looks to go inside. Now Walker puts it up from the foul line. And the first field goal of the game is up for Kansas City. Jerry?
Jimmy Walker's had great success so far in this series.
Boerwinkle feeds off to a cutting Chet Walker. The basket goes, and Chet Walker was fouled on the play.
Advantage of it. A very, very well-coached team, a very bright team. And a lot of it is attributed, of course, to Dick Meyer, their coach.
Now Ollie Johnson's in the game for Kansas City against Walker. Redmond couldn't handle it early, and Chet Walker is ripping it up early in the game. Chester Walker. As the Chicago Bulls have moved out to an early 12-3 lead, and Phil Johnson wants to talk it over with his king. Kansas City is going to be looking to run for 4 quarters. Ollie Johnson left free. And now the Kings come back to it in 5. It's 12-5. Player. Court means a lot this series. All the home teams have won. Feed off to Bob Love, who gets it off glass, and it's now 4 points for Bob Love and a 14-5 game.
The basketball back.
Nate Archibald, great feed off to Ollie Johnson.
If anyone ever go watch a lot of NBA basketball and watch this little man play, here is the most exciting player in the NBA, in my opinion.
Right now we have 2:47 left to go in the first quarter. The Bulls in the lead, 14-7. Points of the game. It's now 14-9. Kansas City back to within 5. Sloan left free and hits it from the way outside. Went to the wrong shirt. Up court to Van Leer. It's a 3-on-2 break. Van Leer takes it in, puts it up. Not quite enough. Bob Love puts it in. They're setting picks out high for Nate Archibald. He loses Van Leer with a great fake, and look at Nate Archibald just sweep in, dance inside, and lay it up. Bob Love from way outside. Rebound taken down by Van Leer. A very aggressive game by the little guard, and Tom Boerwinkle fouls it up and taps it in. 35 seconds as Lacey looks for the cutting man. It's Nate Archibald. A great play as Archibald wrong hands it in with his back to the basket. Kansas City looking to play for the last shot. Archibald takes it in. What a great assist. Can't get the shot. Up court to Love. He can't get a shot as the horn sounds. And the first quarter ends. The Chicago Bulls in the lead. They were in the lead throughout. 20-13. Kansas City was unable to hit until late in this first quarter.
You'll see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
This is one of the best-known symbols in America, but not every American knows what it is. STP oil treatment mixes with the oil in your car and helps protect your engine from friction and wear better than the oil without STP. You add it to the crankcase when the oil is changed and the first time your oil is down. STP oil treatment. It helps your oil do a better job.
Take a look at Big Win. What's he saying? Got you the best name in the business.
When you have to get the beer, get the one named after Milwaukee, the city that means beer.
Hey, old Milwaukee!
Old Milwaukee beer tastes as great as its name.
What's he saying now? Old Milwaukee beer tastes as great as its name.
Hey, Schick takes the stick out.
Schick takes the stick out.
Schick takes the stick out of shaving with smoother, close-shaving, Teflon-coated blades. Look, a straight razor has no Teflon, so it can stick before cutting. But Schick Injector with Teflon cuts cleaner, with 39% less pull. Schick Injector with exclusive Teflon. Now on Injector twin blades, too. Schick takes the stick out for smoother, close shaves.
Ford announces a no-nonsense $250 off the sticker price on not just any new car, but America's best-selling newcomer, Ford Granada. In a limited edition you can order now, specially equipped with new exterior trim, a new bench seat and vinyl door trim. Also $250 off on limited edition Granadas with options like air conditioning and power steering. Comes in 3 feature colors in 2- and 4-door models. Quantities are limited, so see your Ford dealer and order fast. Ford means value. Look close and compare.
More economy-size cars. Ford Pintos at $9.99 a day, plus mileage and gas. 4-door Mavericks at $13.99, plus mileage and gas. Rent for a week and get unlimited mileage. To get these non-discountable rates, you call Hertz or your travel agent for a confirmed reservation. Rates apply at most but not all locations and exclude Manhattan. Hertz has more of these cars than anyone. Number 1 has more of what you need.
Bobby Wilson in the game for the Chicago Bulls goes to Love. Too much on it, but again, the Chicago Bulls hit the offensive board and follow it up. Kansas City inbounds the ball. Nate Archibald looks to put it inbounds. And we have a 5-second violation signaled against the Kings. They did not. Kings inside, they go to Lacey against Boerwinkle. The men cut off. Lacey finds no one clear. Now he puts it up. And again, the poor shooting Kansas City Kings can't hit it. Now they get an offensive rebound. And a foul call against Edelman. Cross court to Bob Love. And Bob Love arcs it up and gets the roll. Hands in his face or a satchel over his head. He puts everything in.
When he's hitting, you just can't stop him. He's got that strange job where he puts the ball so far behind his back of his head. And he shoots a very, very good percentage, even when you're right on top of it.
Go with 2, Nate Thurman and Tom Boerwinkle, to try and wear him down.
They can, but I really think that Sam Lacey is one of the very fine centers in the NBA. And he's young and he has plenty of stamina to play the whole ball game.
Scott Wedman tapped out to Ollie Johnson. Kings taking some very poor percentage shots, and the rebounds are coming back fast the other way as Bobby Wilson drives the lane and lays the ball in for Chicago. And now Phil Johnson again wants to counsel his team, so he has called a timeout. The Bulls in the lead, 28-15. The Kings get what has been for them a rare offensive rebound here in the first half, and now Wedman drills it from the outside. They come back to within 11 points. It's 28-17. Skirts over the top of that floor. Glides over it. Lacey. Wow. Out of his hip pocket.
Some shot by Sam Lacey. That's a very difficult shot, and also quite...
Wedman with the ball now. The rookie forward out of Colorado, looking what they picked from Lacey. Trying to feed off. Bob Love gets the ball and snapped away from him. Right in front of Phil Johnson, the Kansas City coach, and he's protesting that the ball was hit by a Chicago. Again, the objection is overruled. Thurman goes out to Bobby Wilson against Ollie Johnson. Now they go to Wilson against Jimmy Walker. Nate Thurman comes out set to pick Wilson with his great speed. Loses his man with a head fake, but also the ball as he goes inside. There's a future fan. I'm not too sure he or she knows where she is, but seem to be having fun. At Chicago Stadium, 30-19 is the score. The Bulls have led throughout. Switching fast enough where it's as effective as his own.
They really do a good job, and I think what they're trying to do with Archibald is keep him out of the middle. You've got to keep him out of the middle. If you don't keep him out of the middle, he's going to pitch it out, and they've got great perimeter shooters. He's not on good balance. Sloan that time was a little bit off balance, so consequently missed a shot.
Nate Thurman picking and rolling, spins off. Here is Thurman, very quick, good, sharp passing by Chicago, and the open man underneath.
That was great movement of the basketball by Chicago.
On a trigger.
Well, not in this league they're not. They really watch it very carefully. There's one of the few times that the Kansas City-Omaha Kings ran a play and got a good shot so far in this ball game.
Nobody left open, so Walker fires a 25-foot shot. Lacey puts it up and throws Wilson down court very quickly. Lacey takes the ball away. Archibald. Boy, that ball's attached to his hand. Here is Wedman, and now the Kings start to hit it. It's the City-Omaha Kings and the Chicago Bulls. Chicago has led throughout the first, getting it out to Sloan to Wilson. Bobby Wilson again hits it. He now has 8 points since coming off the bench. Nate Archibald puts it up. A little too much on it, but Larry McNeil takes down the rebound, taps it over to Lacey to Wedman. And Scott Wedman hits it. Walker comes out, the guards go down low. This Chicago offense working basic plays, a lot of movement. Basket will go as Nate Thurman gets it off the backboard, driving to the hoop. Very impressive team basketball here by Chicago. Their coach, Dick Motta, says he wants nothing but team players. He said that makes the offense work. His offense, 5 guys have to handle the ball. If he kinds of guy comes out and wants to handle it himself, he says he tells him to go play golf where everybody gets.
Kansas City just hasn't shot the ball in a normal pattern for him.
Jerry Sloan working so hard, gets the ball and draws a foul. Now, still, dive for the loose ball, take the foul. He works at it. 45-27 Chicago. 1:23 to play in the first half. D'Antoni to Lacey as they cut off him. Good, tight defense by Chicago. They can't lose their men cutting. Ollie Johnson gets free.
It's one of the few times that Kansas City's had success with their set offense down on this end of the floor. Chicago's defense has just been outstanding.
Van Leer throws to Wilson against Archibald. Van Leer now back with the ball against D'Antoni, goes to Sloan. Dancing inside, missed it all, looks for a foul, there's no call. Van Leer back the other way for Chicago. 35 seconds to go in the first half. Wilson. He's a killer out there, this Bobby Wilson. 20 seconds to go in the first half. Archibald takes it in. That time they get a whistle, and Archibald will go to the free throw line. Chicago stepped on him, stepped on his foot.
No wonder he didn't kill him and take a quarrel with Quiz.
City can't get the shot just before the buzzer, and so Chicago goes to the locker room with a commanding first half lead. Up on Kansas City, 47-31.
I figure a guy shouldn't have to prove how rugged he is by using products with tough, masculine names. Know what the name of my shampoo is? Johnson's Baby Shampoo. I wash my hair every day, and I used to worry about shampooing too often. But Johnson's is gentle. If it's for babies, it's got to be gentle.
My baby has such full, soft hair.
Johnson's Baby Shampoo does make your hair look full and soft, and it's gentle enough to use every day. From Johnson & Johnson.
Want more control over your long-distance costs? You've got it, even though most interstate rates have just gone up. Look, 1-minute rates now apply 24 hours a day, all week, when you dial direct from your home or office. Using the 1-minute rates nights or weekends, it now only costs 22 cents or less, plus tax, to dial any other state except Alaska or Hawaii. Additional minutes only 16 cents or less. Tear out the chart from our ads and save on long distance.
As president of Dunlop, I know a lot of people think of golf when they hear our name. And for many other people, the name Dunlop means tennis. Yet our biggest business is tires. The fact is, a lot of people put a lot of trust in Dunlop on the road. Dunlop is one of the largest tire manufacturers in the world. So I feel confident saying to you, if you like us on the fairway, you'll love us on the freeway.
Okay, we have the scoring for the Kansas City-Omaha Kings in the first half, and you see they have pretty balanced scoring. Sam Lacey with 8 points, Scott Wedman 8, Nate Archibald, a rather slow first half for him, with 7. Ollie Johnson with 6, and Jimmy Walker with 2. I'm sure they're hopeful that Jimmy Walker can pick it up. For the Chicago Bulls, Chet Walker 14 points, a big first half. Bob Wilson off the bench with 10. Bob Love, Jerry Sloan with 8 apiece. Nate Thurman with 5. Tom Boerwinkle with 2. Norm Van Leer did not score for the Bulls. The first half, if you look at the field goal percentages, that pretty much tells the story of this ball game. Chicago 50% from the field. Kansas City Omaha 37%. The foul line, Chicago shot 88%. Of course, Kansas City only 60. Rebounding was fairly close. Chicago holds a slight edge there. Assist fairly close. Rebound turnovers. Kansas City Omaha had 14 and Chicago had 10. Quite a high number for these teams because of their style of play. And the steals remained fairly the same.
High, Walker cuts off it, nobody open now, pitch off to Sloan, and Jerry Sloan takes it inside, doesn't get the roll, but Boerwinkle working so hard underneath. They're back to shut off the break. 49-31 Chicago. Bob Love with that fadeaway shot. He'll just kill you with that thing.
Well, there's not much.
Playoff series far and away. Here's Archibald underneath. Boerwinkle grabbed him, but he lost the ball. 9:45 to go as Love throws it up. He catches fire and you can forget it. He gets it out to Walker, up court to Nate Archibald. Archibald pulls up, misses again. Love with the rebound. Up court to Van Leer. Kansas City is not playing a team game. Bob Love is left free. 55-31. Against Bob Love. B. Hagan. Picked on the arm. Nobody caught it. Sloan takes down the ball.
Kansas City's going to have to be a little bit more patient with their offense, or they're never going to get back this ball game.
Van Leer gets the loose ball, gets it over to Bob Love. They leave him free, and Bob Love hits 4 consecutive shots.
It's hard to believe that this score could be this big in favor of Chicago.
Archibald completes the three-point play. He is only 3 for 14 shooting from the field in this game. Chet Walker fading back, as he's done 1,000 times before.
The Chicago forwards, Love and Walker, are really hurting Chicago.
A blocking foul against Sloan, and now B. Hagan takes it to the basket and lays it in.
Well,
Chet Walker shooting against a lot of pressure. B. Hagan takes down the ball, loses it, picked up by Lacey at 6'10". That didn't look like a charge to
now
me.
Sam Lacey's very unhappy. That's a good call. Sloan was there that time. Sam Lacey got a technical foul called on him. He protested a little bit longer.
Well, Walker hits the technical, and they're driving on Archibald, picked up by Lacey. Tries to hit the open man Boerwinkle. Walker picks up the ball. He has done very little in this game after a superb game on Friday night. Lacey is free on the left flank. But Archibald wants to set it up. They go to Walker 20 feet out. Jimmy Walker hits it for Kansas City. Inside to Boerwinkle. The high lead pass goes inside to Bob Love. Beautiful assist by Boerwinkle. Just finessed the ball inside to Love. And the Chicago Bulls, as you see, are in the lead, now 62-40. Trying to get back in it. Here is Ron B. Hagan. Missed everything, and Air Boerwinkle has not driven on him yet. Outside to Jimmy Walker. Boerwinkle takes down the defensive board, goes down hard, and B. Hagan gets it over to Scott Wedman. And the rookie is free and hits the shot. clocked out. 4:15 to play in the third quarter. Van Leer sees the opening, gets to the free throw line. Norm Van Leer hits it to give Chicago a 22-point lead. He has his first points of the game. Down, tapped out to Jimmy Walker. Van Leer knocks the ball away. Ron V. Hagen left three. This time he finds the range after missing it all his last shot. In the same spot. With a good shot, they're working the ball better here in the third quarter. Wedman missed it all against D'Antoni. Norm Van Leer puts it up high, and the rebound is stripped down by V. Hagen. D'Antoni leads the break for Kansas City. Picked up by Wilson, goes to Edelman. Cross the lane is V. Hagen, not open, and Edelman brings it all the way around. Takes it in against Sloan. There's a block, and a ball is picked off by Sloan. But a foul call from Richie Powers. So he hits 2 out of 3. 3 chances to make 2, and it's now 64-46. Van Leer moving, picked up by Kosmolski. Van Leer puts it over the big 6'11 center, fading away.
Norm Van Leer is one of the better players in the NBA at penetration, and there he shows his great penetration ability. Of course,
Ron V. Hagen throws it up from the outside, and V. Hagen has now found the range. You recall he threw up that air ball in the third quarter. Since then, he's put in 2 long jump shots. Rick Edelman takes it right through, can't get the shot, and Thurman knocks it down. And here is a foul call as Edelman hit Thurman on the arm trying to get the ball back. He's an acquisition from Golden State, part of a trade that sent Clifford Ray out there. 1:05 to go. Edelman puts it up and gets it. 1:05 to go in the third quarter. Now we're down under a minute to go in the third quarter. 67-50. And a foul call on Edelman. League's coaches in technicals this year.
I think a couple of years in a row Dick Minor did, and he inherited that from Dick.
48 seconds to go in the third quarter. D'Antoni, a West Virginian, arches it up.
Very big play.
Ron V. Hagen, or Ollie Johnson fades away. Good tip, and it'll go just before the buzzer. V. Hagen snuck in there and tipped it in. And so, after being way out of it, the Kings come back where they're now still way down, but it's only 15 points, which is one of their better differences in this game.
You'll see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
Michelin. Dear Michelin, when I bought a set of your Michelin X steel-belted radials 3.5 years ago, you said I'd get 40,000 miles. I've now driven them over 76,000 miles. I think that's remarkable.
Ever since we invented the steel-belted radial, Americans have been sold on Michelin. Prove it to yourself. Mr. Brieger did. Michelin, the steel-belted radial leader.
We made it first, we make it last.
This is an antiperspirant spray called Sure. It's different. Really. Most antiperspirant sprays go on wet and oily compared to Sure, which goes on dry. And Sure keeps you dry. Prove it under your own 2 arms. Try Sure on your left side, and the spray you like best on your right side. If you're like most people, your left side will convince your right side. You'll be drier. We're sure.
You get that holiday feeling at Holiday Inn. That take it easy feeling the minute you walk in. Get that holiday feeling, that holiday feeling, that holiday feeling at Holiday Inn.
More different kinds of inns.
At Holiday Inn.
In more different places around the world.
At Holiday Inn.
That's Holiday Inn.
At Holiday Inn.
Get away. Up court to Walker, and Chet Walker puts it up, draws the foul. Walker gets the second. Now in his 13th year in the NBA. Kosmolski. Ollie Johnson goes to D'Antoni. And he is hitting from the outside. Mike D'Antoni from Marshall University. Within 14. Kosmolski goes to V. Hagen. 12-point lead.
That's right. Dick Minor wants time out again. It seems like when you get a lead in this league and you try to set on it, you're going to lose it.
So this game is starting to turn around. It's not too late for Kansas City as they are down by 12 with over 11 minutes to go. Play in the fourth quarter. Matt Gukas is in the game. He is matched up against D'Antoni. Bob Love fades away and puts it up and in for Chicago.
That's the first time Bob Love had the ball in Chicago's offense.
To Rick Edelman. Can't get the roll. Tapped up, slapped around, knocked out to Van Leer. Roland Garrett in the game, whipping down the far side on the left flank. But Van Leer keeps it himself. Two quick baskets by the Bulls, and they are now up again by 16 as Van Leer has 8 points.
You have to expend so much energy catching up in this game, but sooner or later it catches up to you. Chicago came back with 2 quick baskets, and they're right back to a 14-point lead again.
Turnovers. Bob Love looking to put it up. He is hot, and he wants the ball. 22. 76-60. D'Antoni with a good outside shot. There's a guy who gets you points.
That's right. That's 3 in a row for Mike.
Real basic patterned offense. A lot of team motion. Always looking for the man cutting that might be open. Bob Love throws it up, and D'Antoni hits him.
Yeah, you can. It seems like to me that with Chicago and Kansas City, they run so much of their offense where they try to create mismatches, and then once they create a mismatch with the little guy and the big guy, they get the ball inside.
Lacey shoots it up over Van Leer. They're getting the ball, the Kansas City Kings are, but they're not hitting. That's 3 misses in a row, and finally Boerwinkle takes down the defensive board for Chicago. Boerwinkle, the shot clock is almost out. If that goes in, it's over for Kansas City. It's in, but the follow-up did. It follows it up, and it's 80-62. Chicago in the lead. D'Antoni getting very offensive-minded, going to the basket. He draws the foul. Scott Wedman.
Great confidence in his players on his bench.
Well, Mata says, one of the most difficult things for a coach in the NBA is to work with a pro team where you have to sit guys on the bench. They were all All-Americans on some level. Bob Love fading away, puts the shot up on the line. He has been the iron hand here in the second half. He now has 26 points.
Play either guard or forward equally as well.
Nate Archibald trying to look inside, goes to the floor, does Sloan.
This ball game.
Van Leer, as Larry McNeil's back in the game against Love. You could put the whole club on Love. He's going to throw it in today. He now 38 in an earlier playoff victory over Kansas City in this series.
Makes no difference who you have on Bob Love when he's shooting like this.
Nate Archibald makes the turn and gets down the baseline to lay it in, but it's still a 20-point difference in favor of Chicago. Feeding off to Love all day long. Boerwinkle puts it up and gets the roll.
If you've noticed, since Jerry Sloan came back in this ball game, he's really picked up the tempo for Chicago. This guy is tremendously valuable basketball.
Archibald goes to the free throw line. Nate Archibald not having one of his better.
Scratch away, maybe somehow get back in this ball game.
Correct total on Archibald is 13 points. They try to get it outside to Larry McNeil. Sloan goes to Boerwinkle. Inside to Love. Off glass. Once again, Bob Love now has 30. Len Kosmolsky goes to Larry McNeil, and McNeil finally hits it. Larry McNeil with his first points of the game. In a one game against Chicago in this series, he went 12 for 12 from the field. Those
are going back home, that they have to feel a lot better playing on their own home court.
Roland Garrett spins off, gets the shot for the Chicago Bulls, and they open up now a lead of 92-69. Thing down, 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the game. Ball is lost by McNeil, up court to Sloan, and he is fouled by Larry McNeil before the shot. Illustrating the ending here, taking his regulars out one by one to standing ovations with 2:07 to go. The Bulls are in the lead by 25 points, 24 points, 93-69. Leon Benbow is in for Chicago. Wedman tries to fight in front of Matt Gukas, and there's a foul call on the play. Bob Love goes out of the game. 30 points he scored, 22 in the... Goes outside to Gukas, quickly in the corner to Leon Benbow. Boerwinkle, 270 pounds, gliding off to tip it in. Larry McNeil is partially blocked. Loose ball down to Boerwinkle. Up court to Mickey Johnson, who's in the game. Gets his first ball. here at Chicago Stadium. McNeil takes the offensive board, puts it up and gets the points. Here we go. 97-72. Gukas comes right back down and hits it for Chicago. 73 was the lowest point total of the season for Kansas City, and a fight starts to break out. Edelman reaches in and commits a personal foul. Leon Bembo from Jacksonville playing in his first playoff series. Wedman looking for a shot with 30 seconds to go against Chicago, tips it away. Roland Garrett knocked it away over to Mickey Johnson. Here's a cross-court pass to Matt Gugas to Roland Garrett. Chicago Bulls. Kansas City team tried it. 102-74. Kosmolski gets the rebound, puts it back up, it's good, and there's a foul on the play. Bembo feeds off to Roland Garrett. Bembo puts it up at the buzzer. It goes. The basket counts. The grand finale as the Chicago Bulls have their biggest win in this playoff series. A rout of the Kansas City-Omaha Kings, 104-77.
This is the only pickup that guarantees its engine for 50,000 miles or 3 years, the rotary engine Mazda. In fact, Mazda's non-transferable warranty states that the engine block and internal parts will be free of defects with normal use and prescribed maintenance for 50,000 miles or 3 years. Whichever occurs first, or Mazda will fix it free. Mazda, one tough engine, one tough pickup.
He flies to faraway places, bringing last week's letters, yesterday's newspapers, and memories of home. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller Beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller.
Today, at a high-level meeting, Volkswagen engineers announced to their management that the new Volkswagen Rabbit would average an incredible 38 miles to a gallon down the highway, go from 0 to 50 in a swift 8.2 seconds, and it wouldn't cost a bundle. Management's reaction?
Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again. Happy days are here again.
When my dad died, my mom was left with 4 little kids and a big mortgage. So when I bought a home, the first thing I wanted was mortgage insurance. I called Allstate because the price was right.
Dick Borgier bought $20,000 of Allstate Mortgage Protection Life Insurance for just $760 a month at age 25. Want to help make sure your family could keep your house? Call Allstate now.
I've been there. Allstate can really help you.
When your factory needs improving, Yellow Pages gets things moving. Let your fingers do the walking, it's a snap.
Get new lighting for the place.
And your conduits encased. Let your fingers do the walking, it's a snap. Find new conveyors and metal racks, cranes and forklifts, or hydraulic jacks. For that commercial need, every tycoon should take heed. When your fingers do the walking, it's a snap.
Chicago, where the Chicago Bulls have just defeated the Kansas City-Omaha Kings in a rout. It was never in doubt, as Chicago now leads this series 3-2, and they'll be going back to Kansas City for Game 6. But Chicago prevailed all the way. Of course, the history of this team under Dick Motta, who is now in his 7th year as the head coach, has been great defense. And as Jerry West was pointing out throughout, it was great defense that keyed this victory. Kansas City's game is the penetration of Nate, never really in this thing. Nate Archibald finished with 13 points, but he only hit, I believe, 3 for 14 from the field. So it was a big difference, a big disparity in points right from the very outset as the Chicago Bulls, in front of their home crowd, take command of the game. A great effort by the Chicago Bulls as a team. Jerry West is now in the Bulls locker room, or he's hoping to get in there very shortly. And Dick Motta, the coach, is a great one for wanting to have a little team meeting before he lets any of the reporters or any of the press in to talk to his players. He is a very disciplined coach. He never changes form. And he has his players so well trained to his system, they say on the rare occasions when he can't make a practice, they actually run it just as well. Without Dick Motta there, they know just what he wants them to do. They know just how to go about it. A very disciplined team, and perhaps their best playoff victory ever. But as we are mentioning, they've had trouble all throughout. A great deal of trouble on the road in the playoffs. In 25 previous playoff games, they have won just once on the road. So they've got to go back to Kansas City. Now we're going to find out more about this Chicago Bull victory as we go to Jerry West in their locker room.
With Dick Motta in the Chicago dressing room, Coach, just a tremendous ball game. I thought your defense was just the best I've seen all season.
Well, we've been playing good defense in this series. We felt we should have won the ball game down in Kansas City. We're a very bitter ball game. I don't like to blame too many people, but we played Kansas City 9 times and didn't lose a man on fouls and lost 3 and with 1 ejection and still came back and thought we should have won the ball game there.
Well, before this ball game, I'm sure that you told your guys, let's concentrate on defense, keep Archibald out of the middle, and I don't think I've seen anyone contain him better throughout the whole season.
Well, we've been doing very well on him. Norm played with him a year, you know, and he has a little advantage there. He knows what the little kid's going to do, and he's a great one, and there's no question about that. We try to change up on him every ball game and keep him guessing a little bit, but we're usually a step behind him.
You know, it seems if you keep him out of the middle, you have much better success. If you drive him along the baseline, you can get help, but keep him out of the middle, you do a much better job on him.
Well, we want him to beat us from the outside, and if he's got the hot hand and a high percentage shot out there, we still think we can be in the ball game, but he's dangerous down the middle, getting those 3-point plays and those assists.
Bobby Love had another great ball game for you.
Well, we forgot him there for a while in the middle of the fourth quarter, and we went back to our basic stuff again and got the ball down into him low. And when he's right, he's better than anyone in the league, I think.
You know, I always felt that once Chicago got a lead, that's the most difficult team in basketball to play catch-up against.
Well, this year's been a very difficult year for us. This is the most difficult year I've ever had coaching. I think we've accomplished more than any year, but we're really excited about our rookies, too. And the main thing, some of them got in today, and what was pleasing, they stayed right with the pattern and didn't get out there and going wild on us.
Well, you've got a veteran basketball team, and when you get in a situation where you got that big lead, these guys, Chet Walker, Bob Love, Chet got you off early in the ball game, then Love, big second half. Tom Boerwinkle had a great board game. This man can pass the basketball. He does the things that you want to do, and he does them very well.
Well, Tom is playing now like he was just before he got hurt 2 years ago, and a lot of people wondered why we kept the big guy, but I like him. You know, we've got a lifetime into this game, and he and I came here the same time, and he can pass the ball, and when we're moving right, and he's threading the needle, it's hard to defense us.
Coach, congratulations on a great win, and good luck Tuesday night in Kansas City.
Well, we're going to be there, I guess. That's the main thing. This is very interesting, and I know Phil feels bad right now, and there's no one I'd rather beat, and I know he feels the same way.
Okay, Don Cricky.
All right, and here with us now is one of the fine veteran officials in the NBA, a man who worked today's game, as you can tell. Richie Powers, you left some weight out there, Richie.
I think I could use a little off weight, lose a little weight, but that's just a normal average NBA game.
Richie, we were pointing out, Jerry West, who played in the league for so long, that the importance of you guys calling it real tight, particularly at the outset, because a thing like this can turn into a street fight.
Well, there isn't much different in this game than the one in October. Of course, it means a heck of a lot more to the players, but to the referees, it's just one of 100 games that we work a year, Don. The tensions and the animosities that might develop over a period in a long series such as this are paramount, and we are aware of them, and the game must be controlled starting from the dressing room, instantly. If you don't control it at the opening tip, you have not done your job.
I guess officiating in every sport, Richie, is difficult. There's so many judgment calls, no more than there is in basketball. In pro basketball, every call is a judgment part on the part of you and your fellow official. We saw a lot of charging calls today. And if you would explain to our listeners basically what you're looking for in a position like when Sloan takes that foul.
Well, the onus in many occasions is on the offensive player. If the defensive player has taken a position, let's say one full stride in a position on the court before the offensive player arrives there, then it becomes a charge because he can see that man. If he does it while the man is not looking, then you owe the offense a little more leeway. But of course, at the speed at which the game is played, there seems to be more offensive playing, offensive fouling. Now, Jerry Sloan is a master at taking the proper defensive position, as is Norm Van Leer. But that doesn't mean that Lacey doesn't do it, nor Archibald. They all do it correctly. But it seems that Jerry, I think he should become a referee one day because of all the adverse publicity he gets. But he's a spectacular athlete and maybe a terrible opponent, but what a great teammate he'd be for anybody in this league. I don't know any team that would refuse to have him as a team member.
The life of an official is not an easy one, and Richie Powers is with us through the courtesy of the Commissioner Walter Kennedy.
Correct,
You're not
yes.
supposed to do interviews like this.
That's correct.
Richie, we were pointing out in the course of a season, the players play half their games on the road. You play all yours there. You have to stay at different hotels than the players. You can't. There's no talking to players off the court. No fraternizing. It's going to be a difficult life.
Well, you know, it's really, you get to meet them occasionally, and the conversation you have with them becomes great for both parties. They find out that the referee is not really a fumfering fool, that he knows his business, he can articulate about it, and knows what he's doing as he leaves the dressing room. Each game is to us like not the penultimate game, it is the ultimate game of our career. Because what we don't do now, we'll never recapture. We have to do it right.
What about the pressures that are exerted on you, the crowd pressures, the player pressures, the importance of the game? After a period of years, are you able to dispel all this from your mind and just work the game, or is it always present?
Well, it's always present because each game is as important as the one before, or the last one, as I just said. It is a great game to be involved in. I can't do anything but give my 100% effort to the game, as each referee does. The crowd does not bother me. I hear them. It's not a question of rabbit ears, but I don't react. The only thing we can react to is if some fan loses his equilibrium and comes out on the court or throws debris. That could injure not only a referee but also a player and put a man out of business for his career. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't a referee, Don.
Write books. You're an author now.
Well, it's a combination of authorship with Mark Mulvoy from Sports Illustrated, and the book is called Overtime, and it'll be out, I believe, tomorrow.
Okay.
I think there was some ink in New York Times about it today.
Is that right? All right, Richie. Thank you for coming by. Let's go back to Jerry West.
That's right. I've been so confused in this.
Okay. We're with Jerry Sloan in the Chicago locker room, and Jerry, it was a great win for you today.
Well, it sure was. I'm sure if we hadn't won the ball game, we would really be in big trouble. You know, it's a little bit more comforting to know that you're able to win today and go to Kansas City and hope that we can do the best job we can over there and get it done right.
But Jerry, you've had very poor success in the playoff on the road. To win this ball game in Kansas City, what do you have to do?
Well, I think we have to come out and be as intense as we were today, probably more so on the defense and what we have been. I think as long as we play good, tough defense, you know, I think that's probably the key to our ball club. Seemed like it always has been. We've always been able to turn a few things over when we play good, tough defense, and I think it carries you a little bit when you're not putting the ball through the hole. Most of us don't usually do it that well.
Jimmy Walker's had trouble with you the other night in Kansas City. You were ejected from the ball game, and Jimmy responded by, I think, 24 second-half points in that ball game.
Well, he's a tremendous shooter, and the thing that I try to do, you know, I'm as big as he is. That's my advantage, probably a little bit taller, and weight-wise, I think we probably are about the same, but I try to be as close to him as I can. I'm just about as quick as he is, even though he's a little bit shorter, and so that makes it a little bit easier for me to guard him.
Jerry, I don't think I've ever seen a player in the NBA, and this is a compliment, believe me, to play with the intensity that you do. It's just amazing that you can go out there night after night, give the same kind of effort, and accomplish as much as you do.
Well, thank you, Jerry. You know, I'm very fortunate to get to play basketball. I feel it's been very good to me over the years, and I'm just very grateful for the privilege of getting to play. And believe me, that's what I believe it is, a privilege. I know that I'm not going to turn a franchise around or anything, but I think that I can make certain contributions to a team that will allow me to get to play.
Don't you feel style of play is very important for any basketball player? You come to Chicago, you don't play a wide-open style of play. Maybe this is a better style of play for Jerry Sloan to play in.
Well, actually, offensively, I think probably if we'd run a little bit more, I was able to score a little bit more when we ran more, but this game suits me better because I know exactly what I have to do in our offense. I know what I have to do in our defense, and when you get to running them down the floor, sometimes I make a lot of mistakes, and I probably more so when we're running.
Don't you feel that when you come in after a playoff game, it's much more gratifying? You see a lot of smiling faces here, don't you?
Well, yes, it is very gratifying. I tell you, I was probably the saddest person I've ever been in my life. What happened over in Kansas City, you know. I feel like that I have to play, and if I'm going to play, I can't get kicked out of ball games, you know. And I was very dejected and upset about it, and you know, I sure didn't have any smiles on my face when I came to ball game today, and not for the last 2 days.
Jerry, great ball game, and congratulations, and looking forward to seeing you again real soon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Don.
And the final score here again at Chicago was the Chicago Bulls 104, the Kansas City Omaha Kings 77. We'll be back at Chicago Stadium in a moment.